All right, everyone, welcome. We are so excited to have you all here today and that our speakers are here today. Shantae and I, yeah, we're gonna be hosting this event today. And our goal for today is to give you a little insight on how, or yeah, a little bit, some insights on how to experience the American life. And the best way to do that is to have a little chat with our amazing speakers today who are experiencing this at first hand. We're going to record this live stream, so if you need to hop off earlier or you want to share it with your friends, feel free to do that. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Rebecca. I am 25 years old and I'm from Germany. I was an extended au pair in Tennessee as well. And yeah, that's about me. So, Shantae, maybe you can introduce yourself too to the audience.
I'm Shantae. I currently work with cultural care in South Africa, and I was also an extended au pair in the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Nice. Okay, well, we obviously want to get to know our au pairs too. So maybe we'll start with Leah. Tell me a little bit about you, Leah.
Hey, I'm Leah. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Germany. And I'm an au pair in Alabama for almost 22 months now. And yeah, I take care of four house kids here.
Nice. So good to have you here, Leah. Okay, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, my name is Anouk. I am 25 years old. I am a former au pair. This means that I'm already back in my home country. I came back to the Netherlands, which where I'm from, in August after having spent 2 years in California, San Diego, with my amazing host family. I had 7 host kids there, 7 under 7, twins and quadruplets. Well, yeah, I extended with the same family there, and it's very nice to be here.
Awesome. Louise, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Louise and I'm from South Africa. I'm 20. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry. I'm 22 years old and I've been in a pair for 14 months. I was in Ohio with 6 kids, and for my extension, I moved to California with only 3 kids.
Nice. Good to have you here.
Awesome. So we're going to get started with our first question. First, we're going to talk a little bit about the American culture and maybe how to get into it a little bit more. So first, Leah, I'm going to reach out to you and ask you, what was the biggest cultural difference you noticed in your first few weeks?
I think the biggest thing I've noticed was how friendly Americans are. I heard from others before that the people here are super friendly, but when I came here, it was just so nice and surprising. For example, if you like go in a store and the people greet you when you enter it, and then they ask you if you need help, and they're actually pleased if you do need help, and they're happy to like lead you to the aisle. And it's just nice when people ask you how you are or how you're doing that day. And even though it's just a superficial question, sometimes it's just nice, yeah, to answer that and have that little chat.
Yes, absolutely. I think that was such a valid answer. I totally experienced the same thing. It's such a it's so I was so amazed how friendly Americans were or are still whenever you get into the culture. Okay, Anouk, what how did you integrate in the host family? I know sometimes it's whenever you start becoming an au pair, you think about these questions. How was that like for you?
Yeah. Well, it took me some time to get there, so I really tried to like FaceTime before my arrival with them. So we FaceTime quite so many times, and what I also did was open up like a shared iCloud album, which we could share photos in with each other on like a weekly or daily basis. Which were, yeah, you could just see each other's lives, my life, I could see their life, what I was getting into. And then when I was getting there, when I arrived there, I kind of felt like I already knew them because we talked so much and I already knew so much about their daily life. And I just continued that by like doing as much as I could, especially in the first couple weeks. Yeah, and just really try to integrate within like the family life and just spend most of my time with them and get to know them.
Yes.
Yeah,
So good.
I mean, I definitely also had the same situation, and just getting to know the family beforehand definitely helps you in those first few weeks. So Louise, we're gonna go over to you. How was your first few days with the host family?
My first few days, like thinking back, was wonderful. I was so stressed, but it couldn't gone better. My first month, like I took time to get to know the family and spend time with them. So my first few days, the kids like took me to all the places they knew in the area, and we went for ice cream and we just watched movies and played board games to get to know each other.
Perfect. That's an amazing way to get to know each other. And I would definitely recommend it to every au pair just to find ways to really connect in the first couple of weeks, and just like maybe plan it in advance, like what kind of, also just like bring in German games. That's also a great way to, yeah, show them your culture. Perfect. Okay, let's move over to Anouk. What activity do you like to do most with your host family?
Oh, that's a hard question because there were so many things that I really love doing. I think I loved what I loved most was sharing my own culture. There's like you said, by sharing things from my country, especially songs. Whenever we would go somewhere, I would drive somewhere to whatever, a park or to school, on a daily basis. We would just like listen to Dutch songs, and they learned the Dutch language through that. And I celebrated all like sort of like Dutch holidays, like Sinterklaas, or like Dutch version of Santa Claus of Christmas. And that was also something the kids were worried about when I left in August. Like, is Sinterklaas still going to come in December, or like, are you going to call him, or like, what's going to be the deal? Um, and yeah, I mean, I gave them all like orange soccer jerseys when I got there. I mean, I had 7 kids, so like I kind of have my own soccer team. And yeah, it was just amazing because they would wear them on like King's Day or national holiday, or like whenever we also actually played against the United States, the Netherlands against the United States during the World Championships last year, soccer, and they were actually all cheering for the Netherlands because I just really influenced them very well with my culture. And you kind of realize how Dutch in my case, I kind of realized that how, until like I was there, how Dutch I am. So that was fun.
That's amazing.
That's great. So the next one, I think everyone has a different one. So I would like to hear from everyone, but we're going to start with Leah. What is your favorite American holiday?
My favorite American holiday, I think, is Thanksgiving for sure, because we don't really celebrate that in Germany. And I just love how big it is here. Like the families coming together and they all have a big meal. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it celebrating it last year with my family, to get together, have a meal together, and then say what you're grateful for and thankful for. And that was just really special.
Awesome. And then what's your favorite holiday?
Oh yeah, I love Thanksgiving as well. But I think my favorite was 4th of July, as that's also something we don't have in my country. And what I love most about it is, well, I just love the whole idea of dressing up in the colors of the country's flag, and yeah, just I don't know, have fun, have food all day, have drinks. And what's my family did something special too, like an annual tradition of like hosting a baseball game on that day for like their whole family and friends, which was usually a big group, and we would all like go out to like a baseball field in our neighborhood and like play baseball together, like something for me super American. So I really enjoyed that, and I looked forward to that.
Awesome. And Louise, tell us a bit about your favorite holiday.
My favorite holiday is also the 4th of July. Just because of, like she said, the dressing up, like in the colors. I love dressing up. And everybody in Ohio went all out. So, like the fireworks, we had the biggest fireworks in the Midwest in Columbus. So that was super cool. So definitely the fireworks was my favorite. And then the neighborhood I lived in, like everybody had a party. So it was so much fun walking to each house and just celebrating with them.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, all great answers. I can totally relate to all the answers that you've mentioned, 4th of July, but also Thanksgiving. Those are great, great events in the US. So, Anouk, I have one more question for you. When you think about all the traditions in the US, what was your favorite so far?
Ooh, a hard one. I think is mine is very specialized on my family. We did this like big road trips. I mean, distances are way bigger in the United States than well, I think most countries, at least in Europe. And we did like big road trips with our van because we had 7 kids. We had to fit them all like in a van. We would usually just drive everywhere, and we drove all across the country. And for Thanksgiving every year, we would drive from San Diego to like Austin, Houston, Texas, usually within 1 or 2 drives. And my host dad would just drive through the night, and then me and my host mom would like well try to sleep with the kids in the car, and yeah, just enjoy the days with them. And we would usually just end up in like a random place somewhere in the States, and I would get to like discover many places by that. And yeah, that was something. And then I mean then celebrate Thanksgiving with their family, which was also great. So yeah, good tradition.
Awesome. Now that you talked about like traveling, do you remember how many states you discovered? Because you were just saying like I discovered so many states because I live with my host family.
Yeah, yeah. My goal was to visit all of them, all 50, but I got to 39 in the end, which was quite a lot, I
Wow,
think.
that is very impressive. Awesome.
Great. So then we're going to go over to Leah. What was your biggest culture shock when you arrived in the US?
I think the thing I was shocked the most was how big everything is here. Like the streets are so big, so are the cars. But also if you go to a restaurant, the meals are really big, and yeah, just everything is bigger here. And then yeah, it's also when you drive down the street, there are so many fast food chains on either side, so it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, I can definitely agree on that. My host family had this huge car, and probably most of my first year, I did not want to drive that because it was just like so big. And I wish I started driving it earlier because, yeah, it's a lot bigger, but it was also my favorite thing to drive. So bigger is sometimes better.
True.
Yeah, I totally agree, Leah. I think it's even more shocking whenever you come back to Germany and you see everything is so small, because you're just so used to like everything is just so big, and then you come back to Germany and you see the bathroom is just so small. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. Okay, let's move on. Luis, how has the US culture changed you with your au pair experience?
So one thing that I mentioned was I didn't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I would usually skip meals. So since being in the US, they ate all 3 meals. So I learned how to eat like every meal. Um, and just being integrated into a family. They are so family orientated and friendly. So yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
awesome. So then we are going to go over to Anouk again, and we wanted to know what was one American thing you have integrated into your daily life, since you were both in the US and that you took over back to when you moved back home.
Yeah, good question. I think I have to say small talk. I think that's something that most Americans do a lot, especially compared to where I'm from. It's not so usual in my culture. We're just, I don't know, saying whatever is needed. And now I often hear my friends saying like, "Oh, you just do so much small talk now wherever you go. Like talk to your cashier, like when you're like waiting for it's like to pay for my groceries, or talking to the server, like, oh, what's the best thing on the menu?" Like I would have never done that back like before I came. And I know, just say thank you, I appreciate it, like all the time. I think that's something that I definitely learned and got used to in the US.
That's
Amazing. I mean,
great.
that's definitely not a bad thing to
No.
say more thank you, to say more please. I think we all got used to it more now that we've been all in the US. Okay, great. Leah, do you have any other culture traditions that you brought into your host family from your home country now that you're still in the US? And yeah, what would you say about that?
So one thing I did last year was celebrating Saint Nicholas Day with them, because this is something they don't do that much here. So yeah, I told the kids they should put their shoes out the day before, and then at night I was putting little candy in there, and it was just so amazing to see their faces the next morning when they went out and looked if something is in their shoes. So yeah, this is something I loved, and I will definitely do that this year as well. But also little things like in Advent, when we light up the candles of the Advent, yeah, the Advent thing. We like I told them that we used to sing a little song, and I sang that song, and it was just like nice to share that tradition with them.
That's awesome. Do you think they're still singing the songs? Like even when are you're going to be gone?
I hope so. I will teach them this again this year, and I hope they remember.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be like an ongoing tradition at their house. Luis, how about you? How would you say about that?
So I taught my family a lot about the South African food we have. One big one was braai, like barbecue, but on real fire. So I taught them that. And with the World Cup rugby going on, I got them into watching rugby with me. And South African being in the finals this weekend, we're gonna have a big braai with watching rugby. So that is the big thing that I did, and just making South African food. Like I made desserts and like the braai and a lot of traditional South African food.
That sounds amazing. Your host family must have been super lucky to have you with all the deliciousness.
Yeah, and let's go South Africa. Let's get this, hey? Um, yeah, so then I think let's go over to our next section, which will be friends, hanging out with friends, getting to know a little bit more about how to find friends as well. And Nook, I think I'm going to go to you first with finding out how you met your au pair friend.
Mm, uh, Many different ways. I think I met most of my friends through like au pair meetings with my local representative within the States. By like doing fun stuff together. I also met some people beforehand, like through Instagram or other social like media channels, where I think there's a lot of like, I don't know, going on, like, oh, you can just, I don't know, go know where everyone's going, and meet up, or try to meet up even before leaving. And then I think I also, well, I think I met quite so many people at my classes too, my au pair classes, which were either at a college or like the weekends that sometimes they also organize. Yeah, and as an ambassador, I was also pretty busy with meeting friends. It's kind of easy whenever you meet one person. It's easy to like go on and meet their friends and kind of build a big network.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of making friends, there's so many ways how to meet new au pair friends. But now the harder question, how do you meet American friends, Luis?
So I downloaded the app Bumble BFF. And it's kind of like a dating app, but for friends. And it was so much fun. At the beginning I thought it was weird. Like, how do I meet friends off of an app and it's like dating? Like it just sounds weird. But honestly, it's been the best thing that I've done. I've met so many like amazing girls that is American that's either in university or they started jobs new in the town, or some of them has grown up in the town. So it's so fun with the people growing up here. They can show you like the local stuff, and they know of all the town's little secrets that you would never know if you would just, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I totally, I mean, 100% agree. I met my best friend on Bumble, and I was just seeing Leah. She was nicking whenever she mentioned Bumble. So tell me a little bit about your experience with meeting American friends.
Yeah, as Louise and you, I also downloaded Bumble BFF, and it was actually the best decision ever because I met a girl last year, and she's not my best friend, and she's American. So yeah, there are many amazing girls out there. And yeah, but I also like that wherever you go, you can make American friends because the people here are so open. For example, I went out and got a haircut and I got along with the girl who cut my hair. So sometimes we meet up. So yeah, it was super random, but super nice at the end.
That's amazing. And I think that's such an important advice to just like always be open-minded, and wherever you are, you never know who you're gonna meet. So always be friendly. You never know who you're gonna meet.
Definitely. I also found traveling solo sometimes is a great way to meet American people, because they are like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Find out a bit of what like about you, and then they're like, "Oh, we're also from, wherever you're traveling," and you always find friends that way as well. So don't be afraid to travel alone. Um, and then I wanted to find out from you, Leah, what are some of the things that you like to do with your friends?
I think the favorite thing I do with my friends is just discover areas in town. For example, if there are new events or something going on, I like to like explore it with them together. But also just like little things like go for a hike or go to the park and paint there together, or do a little day trip to Nashville. Like, yeah, just the little things, or explore a new restaurant, a cafe or something.
Yeah, definitely always go to local events. That's sometimes also the best way to find new people as well as spend time with your current friends.
Absolutely, yes. So I have one more question for Anouk. I know it is a little bit harder to make friends whenever you just, become an au pair and you just got there. What would be like your biggest advice to make friends, local friends, but also au pair friends in your first month?
Yeah. Well, I think my biggest advice would be not to be too scared and nervous about it, because I think you'll just meet people along the way. I think it's maybe smart to like reach out to your local representative before like even leaving. Maybe he or she has like a group chat with the au pairs from your region, or she knows any au pairs who are arriving soon. Maybe your host family knows people like other au pairs. Or like has American people that you from your age that you can hang out with, and then yeah, just kind of go with the flow. Put yourself out there. There's like everybody starts in the same situation as you. As usually they don't have any friends when they come, and just your host family, and everybody wants to make friends and is kind of in the program also to meet new people. So yeah, definitely don't be too scared about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's such a great point.
I can definitely agree. Everyone is there at the same pace as you. So don't be afraid to just open up to new people and just being open-minded, because you never know who your best friend could be. Um, so then I wanted to reach out to you, Luis, and find out what you think the benefits are between having both American friends as well as au pair friends. What is the difference and what are the benefits?
So the difference I would say au pair friends and the benefit of au pair friends is they know exactly what you're going through and they are going through the exact same thing that you're going through, like homesickness, different culture, different language. So all that you think you're going to be alone going through, like your friends are going to go through the exact same thing. And that was the funnest thing for me talking to our pair friends and like hanging out with them is relating to, oh, my child did this week. And like that frustrated me. It's like, yeah, but my child did this. So this is a little bit worse. And you can just tell them everything. And there's a support system and they can relate to you. So that's the fun thing for me about our pair friends. And then American friends, I would say they can teach you more about the American lifestyle, the American culture. You improve your English so much with hanging out with them because you need to speak English. You can't speak any other language. And just they can show you around. Like I said, they know all the local spots. And I'm in a very small town in California. So finding like fun things to do and the small things in the town can be difficult. So having the American friends growing up here, they know of all the fun things and things you don't necessarily find on Google. So that's always fun.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Obviously, hanging out with au pair friends are very different than hanging out with your American friends, and that's the difference that you need, depending on how things had gone during the week, right? So,
Yes.
All right. Well, we're talking about what are you guys doing in our free time? As an au pair, you obviously have a lot of free time too. For example, on the weekends, but also whenever the kids are in school. Leah, this is a question for you. What do you like to do in your free time when by yourself or with your friends? What are like your go-tos?
So what I love to do in the morning is to go to the gym. I really like experience that passion for the gym or in sports in general here, and it's just a great outlet. Like after dropping off the kids and maybe I had a tough morning or something and a bad energy, it's just nice to go there and like have that time in the morning for myself. But what I also like to do in my free time is working on my scrapbook. I started like a little book of all my experiences here. I did all my travels and write that all down with pictures. So yeah, this is something I love to do in the morning.
That's awesome. So the scrapbooking, is it something that you started in the US or is it something that you also have done in Germany before too?
I did that also back home. So I started with like a bucket list at home before I came here. But then here I started with all the travel memories to print it out and put it in there. Yeah, it's a nice way to look back what you already experienced and saw and stuff like that.
Absolutely. That's great. I know, what would you say? What would be like your must do things, must go, like, yeah, what would be like on your list if you would have your free time as an au pair?
Yeah. Well, I think I would always try to catch like a sunset whenever I would be in, whenever I would have the opportunity to go to the beach or go to like a cool park somewhere up high to like watch a sunset later in the day. And I would just absolutely love to spend time with my friends. I love spending time with my host family, but I also love to have my social life outside the house and like be with my friends. Travel together was definitely a favorite. I try to do that a lot, like for a longer trip or weekend or just a day and drive somewhere and have fun together. And I don't know, that's just great to like meet people from all over the world while you're of course also learning about the American culture, but then again also have the world around you, close to you, and learn so many things about other cultures and countries.
I love that. That's such an amazing point. So now that you spoke so much about traveling, we're gonna move on to the next category of our session, which will be travel.
yeah, so obviously travel is a big part of being an au pair. It's what you do with your friends, it's potentially what you do with your host family, it's how you meet new people. So obviously it is integrating into finding friends, but also being a bit different. So Luis, I wanted to find out from you, what would you say is your best travel tip?
So my best travel tip would be going on different apps and comparing prices for flights, accommodation, transportation, whatever. It's there's so many apps and you can find so many great deals on different apps and compare flights. So that would be the biggest thing, like comparing the flight prices and then also finding people to go with you. Um, I found some American friends that wanted to do the same as me or want to go to the same state. So you can always plan around that. And also talking to your pair friends about what is on their bucket list. And if you guys have something similar, you can always plan with them going on a trip.
For sure. And Leah, what is your best travel tip?
I think my best travel tip is to save money, because yeah, it's just you can see all those beautiful places and experience so many things if you save money for it. So what I did, I made a second bank account and like I save money every week for my travels. Um, and yeah, that's just the best way to see all those beautiful places because yeah, the money will return one day, but like the experiences will not. So I try to see everything I can see in my time here.
I can definitely agree with that. Going somewhere new, having more experience is better than a Starbucks coffee. So yeah, definitely try to save for the experiences instead.
So it seems like Leah, you already traveled to a few states. I'm curious, what was or what would you what do you think is your best travel story? Like, how would you describe it?
My best travel story happened last year. I was with my host family on our 2-week summer trip with our camper, and we drove all the way from Alabama to Arizona to see the Grand Canyon. And yeah, that day where we were about to see the Grand Canyon, my host mom told us that she has a surprise for us. And yeah, the kids and I, we tried to guess like what we're doing. And then we pulled up on a parking lot next to a little airport. And yeah, it turned out we were about to fly with a plane over the Grand Canyon. And that was just such an amazing experience, not just to do it together with my host family, but also to see like the Grand Canyon from above. We just saw from pictures before. That was just stunning.
Wow, that is amazing.
That is definitely an experience I would have enjoyed. So then, Anouk, I wanted to find out from you, what would you say is your favorite way of traveling throughout the US?
Road trips, definitely. I think I would always prefer road trips over taking a flight somewhere. And I think that's mainly because in the car you just like see where you're going. With a plane, you're just up high in the air. And then like in the car, you see all the beautiful landscapes. You have lots of time for like sing-alongs, like great conversation, like very meaningful conversations with your friends, with whoever you're like in the car with. And I mean, just kind of see where you go, see where you end up. Sometimes you end up in a different place than you planned on before, but that's just because you maybe see how beautiful it is and you're like, oh, I want to stop here, I want to go there and discover it. So yeah, definitely road trips are my favorite way.
I agree with that. It might take longer than a flight, but you get to see more, and you never know what sunset you could catch that you might not have caught, like on a plane or anything like that. So definitely agree.
So speaking of traveling, Louise, what do you think? What are the best ways to find someone to travel with, or like a travel buddy? Where do you find those people?
Like I said, talking with your pair friends and your American friends about what is on your bucket list, and things that you like to see. Like one of the American friends I have in California, like she's dying to see Las Vegas, and I've been to Las Vegas before, so but I would like to go back because there's things that I didn't see. So she was mentioning it, and I was like, yeah, I would like to go back again. So things like that, just talking to people and figuring out what they like to do and what they want to do. I think that's the best way of finding travel buddies.
Absolutely. Would you recommend any like apps or groups or any other advice that you have for people who might, maybe there are some people who are introverts or are not very talkative?
There's, if you go on Facebook, and I know there's Instagram pages as well that you can find au pair travel buddies. I know there's one that's a Facebook group that you can go on and you can post like you want to go to Alaska and you want to do all of this. And I've done it before. And people would say I'm an extrovert. I don't think I am. I'm super introverted. Um, so then you start talking to people, get to know them. And I think that is also how I found some travel buddies on Facebook groups and Instagram. And then, yeah, if you're scared to talk to people, I know that can be stressful, but just talk as much as you can. If you feel uncomfortable, just say, okay, that's enough. And let other people talk.
Absolutely. And most of the time, those are the best experiences ever. If you have never seen the person before, you go on a trip with them, and it turns out it's the best trip. At least it was for me like that.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, definitely. I also found like a lot of friends that way, posted what exactly I wanted to do and anyone who was interested. And after the trip, we became best friends. So definitely reaching out on groups, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, wherever you can find. Um, au pairs from your area or even from across the country. Talking about across the country, we want to know what your favorite state or travel destination is. And we're going to start with Leah. What's your favorite state?
My favorite state is definitely the state I'm living in, Alabama, because it's just like the weather is almost nice, mostly nice, and yeah, I mean here I've seen the most beautiful sunsets in Alabama, and the city I'm living in is not too big, but also not too small, so we have fun little events, and we are also close to bigger cities like Nashville and Atlanta, so I really love that place here, and also the people here. When it comes to travel destination, I think my favorite state or city is Boston in Massachusetts. I just fell in love with Boston, so I really like it there.
Oh, that's great. I recently went to Boston as well, and I can definitely agree with you on that. I'm not a big city girl, but Boston definitely has a piece of my heart after I visited. But then I wanted to find out from you, Louise, what is your favorite state?
I think the one that's most underrated is North Carolina by far. I've been to like California, New York, and all these amazing states, but North Carolina like stole my heart. We were in a small town in North Carolina. The sunsets was amazing every single night, and we lived like on the beach, so that was also amazing. Just walking to the beach and back. And I'm somebody that loves to swim, and the North Carolina Sea was like bath water. So it was so warm, and we swam for like 6 hours a day. We only went into the house to have lunch and dinner, and then we were back in the ocean. So North Carolina definitely was my favorite state.
Yeah, I'm not a big beach girl, and the one time I did decide to go into the ocean in California, it was freezing. So I wish I had that experience in North Carolina. But then I wanted to find out from Anouk, what was your favorite state or travel destination during the time that you were there?
Good question. I think that's quite hard to answer. I definitely loved California, the place that I lived. I mean, San Diego is just amazing, and I'm so lucky to be able to call it my home away from home, I would say. Hope that makes sense. Then I also loved Utah and Arizona just because it's so different from what I ever have seen before in my life, before coming to the United States, just because of their beautiful landscapes and just amazing nature. I mean, I loved Hawaii. And I think every state has something beautiful. I was so surprised by Michigan when I went there last summer with my host family. We had a lake vacation there, and yeah, every state has just something or multiple great things to discover, and I was really surprised by most of them.
Yeah,
And
I
would you guys, oh, sorry.
no, I was just wanted to say I love what you said because it is so true that every state has like something different to offer. You would always think about like the two states that you know, New York or California, or like the states, that you just come immediately to your mind, but there's so many other states that have like things to offer. They're so beautiful. Even North Carolina, one of my favorites too. So totally agree with that.
Yes, I was just going to say, do you think that smaller states or lesser known states are sometimes better than the bigger states like California or New York or even Florida sometimes?
Yeah, I think you don't have as many expectations maybe from them, and that's why maybe they can be way better when you actually get there instead of having like very high expectations of New York or California or yeah, whatever you just said. Yeah, I mean, those are also great. They're popular destinations for a reason, I guess, but maybe I mean, you won't be as surprised in a good way when you visit the smaller ones, the smaller states or the less popular ones.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So, Luis, you are one of our pairs who extended. Is there any specific reason why you decided to extend?
So I decided to extend just because I haven't seen everything I wanted to see in the US. And also I wanted a different experience. That's why I went with a new family, because in Ohio I had like the typical American experience. Ohio is also underrated state. Like nobody wants to live there, but like having the American experience, like I couldn't have asked for a better year. And also with 6 kids, it was a lot, but it was so much fun. So in my extension, there's just some stuff that I want to see, like Hawaii is one of my bucket list, and that's what I wanted to do in my extension. And just living on a different side of the US. I mean, California is a total different experience than Ohio, so I'm so glad, like I extended somewhere else.
Absolutely. I love that mindset of, if you don't, if not now, when then? And using this opportunity as, to see more locations and to get to know even more the American culture. Because when you're going to have the opportunity again to see all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely grab each opportunity that comes your way while you're still young, right? You never know when it will come your way again or if it ever will. So definitely that's a great idea, whether it's extending with the same family or a different one. And talking about extension, Anouk, what was it that you wanted to experience during your extension term since you did stay with your family for 2 years?
Yes. Well, I felt like I wasn't done yet. I was like, I cannot imagine myself living anywhere else with a family like the host family that I had in my in both of my years. And I definitely was excited for my family to come during the second summer on my second year that I was there, and for them to meet my host family. It was one of the most special moments, I think, during my whole like time there, because I was of course super lucky and blessed for my family to be able to come and for them to meet and like for the two worlds to collide and kind of I don't know, just to be thankful to each other of me being able to be there, and for my host family like to like I don't know, offer all they did, all that they did offer to me. It was such a special moment. And yeah, I was just excited to travel with them, and I definitely wasn't ready to, I don't know, stop traveling and seeing more of the US too.
Yeah, definitely. Extension is a great way to continue with your experience and make new friends. 1 year
Yes.
to me definitely wasn't enough.
So we all heard the word bucket list already. We're curious to hear what was on your bucket list before you even went to the US, or maybe you started your bucket list even um, as you were an au pair. But maybe you can guys can share a little bit about your experience with your bucket list. Leah, we'll start with you.
Yeah, as I said, I made my bucket list before I came here. And now, after like almost 2 years, I've mostly seen all of the things I wanted to see on my bucket list. The two biggest things I think were a road trip on the West Coast I did this year, and seeing the big cities on the East Coast I've seen last year. So the only big thing left is going to Hawaii, and that's for my travel month next February. But yeah, as it comes to an end soon, I just want to spend more time with my friends and my family. So this is like the most important thing on my bucket list right now.
Awesome. Amazing. So is there anything else you would add to your bucket list now that you have seen all these amazing places?
No, actually not. I'm super happy with everything I've seen. So yeah.
Okay, great. How about you, Louise? What was on your bucket list, or what is on your bucket list still?
My bucket list wasn't big. I think like my bucket list was all the famous landmarks like Florida, New York City, and I've seen most of it. The only thing left on my bucket list is LA and San Francisco, and then I would also do Hawaii in my travel month next year, May. So yeah, most of the things I've seen and experienced. And my biggest thing on my bucket list coming to the US is meeting people from all over the world, other au pairs. So the one thing that if I'm done with au pair that's on my bucket list is going to visit all my Europe friends in Switzerland and Italy.
Ooh,
Oh,
awesome.
that should be fun.
Anouk, how about you?
I have to agree with that last one. now that I came back, I can't wait to like, I don't know, travel to all my friends that I made there. Some of them are still there, so I'm very happy for them to be here, but I'm also very excited for them to come back to this side of the world and for me to be able to travel there. I did, I think, most things on my bucket list when I was there, visit many states, and just do all the fun stuff that I did with my host family and travel so much. Now that I'm back, I think on top of my bucket list is to be able to go back in the future and visit them again, and I don't know, kind of feel like I'm going home then. Yeah, and just see them again, and they've already grown so much, my kids, so I think that's definitely on top of my bucket list right now, when it comes to au pair related things.
That's great. So talking about visiting your host family again potentially in the future, and seeing like how much your host kids have changed. What was it that you enjoyed doing with them during your free time? So, those hours that you didn't count as working, but you still spent with them.
So many things, but I think my favorite thing, well, I love traveling, as I already said, have dinner together, spend those moments together, whether it was with my kids or without, like maybe with my host family only, my host parents or their like family. And I think my favorite thing was to go to sports events. I definitely got myself into like sports, and I became a sports lover, which I wasn't before I left. And I absolutely love baseball. I think my family is a big Padres fan in San Diego, and they definitely turned me into one, from like, I don't know, them teaching me all the games, all the rules, all the things, to a baseball game, to us visiting many games in different states when we were traveling, to, I think, whenever we were done with school, done with homework, I would just go outside, go out to the field with my kids and play baseball with my four boys usually, and otherwise I would cheer with my host girls. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of baseball right now.
Yeah, I can say the same. 3 out of the 4 of my host kids played baseball. So if it wasn't on the field for one today, it was definitely for the next. So baseball definitely
Same.
is a great sport. After I had 3 kids enjoying it. So
So you all had this amazing opportunity to become an au pair, or to still are an au pair in the US. My question for you guys is, what is your biggest takeaway from living in a different country, or you just also living in a different, culture and experiencing all of these things? What has been your biggest learning, your biggest takeaway? Maybe we will start with Louise.
Um, my biggest takeaway would be how independent I got, and how much I grew in the just 1 year of being here already. The independence, like when I came to the US my first year, I thought like I'm gonna give myself 3 months and I'm gonna cry and I want to go back home. And I've been here for 14 months, didn't have homesickness, never cried about going home. So my biggest takeaway is just seeing how much I grew and how independent I got and how strong I am as a person.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no way that you do not grow personally as an au pair. There's so many things. I mean, you just gotta go out of your comfort zone, and yeah. So it just forces you to grow as a person professionally, but also personally. So I'm glad to hear that, Luis. How about you, Anouk? What has been your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, I think my like motivation, my life quote when I was in the US, was life begins at the end of your comfort zone, because I definitely like to be in control of things, and I still do, but I definitely learned how to, I think, be more flexible, adapt myself easier to different situations. I mean, I had to all the time with such a busy family life, which I was working in the whole week. And I think it's just really great how you are like learning to rely on yourself because you're far away from home, you're in a total new world with new people, you're far away from friends and family. Of course, you can FaceTime them, which I definitely did whenever I needed them. But yeah, you get more independent. And I mean, that in combination with, for me, taking care of kids every day, which I absolutely loved and still benefit from right now in my job as a teacher, and having friends from all over the world and just learning a lot about the world, cultures and languages, which I also love, has just been the best combination for me about the program, that I think.
Awesome. Amazing. How about you, Leah?
I think my biggest takeaway or learning I did here was to accept people for who they are, and like just admire them for what they're doing and what they accomplish. Because here we meet so many people, not just American people, but also people from like all over the world. They're coming from different cultures and have different stories to tell. And yeah, I've just learned to accept and admire them for who they are, and that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think also if you don't know the person yet, it's just sometimes we tend to judge immediately, and to just give them a chance to share their story, it just made such a big difference during my au pair year, at least, to just, hear their stories first, and then, yeah, just give them a chance to introduce themselves also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I think I have a little bit of each of you that I took away: becoming more independent, being more open-minded, just getting to know people. But then sadly, we are coming to our final question of the evening, and I do think potentially our biggest question of the evening. And I wanted to start with Louise. I wanted to find out, what is your advice that you want to give to any future au pairs thinking about the opportunity, or who are starting to pack to get ready to get on that plane?
I think the best advice I can give is take the leap of faith and just do it. Even if you're scared, if you're anxious about it, just go for it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And you're only young once, so take that chance.
Yes, let's definitely take that chance, get on that plane. And then, Leah, do you have something different that you would give advice?
I would actually say the exact same thing. Like, just do it, because it is frightening. It is like such a big step out of your comfort zone, but you will experience so many amazing things and grow so much as a person you cannot even imagine right now. So just go for it and do it.
Definitely take that leap. And then we're going to leap last to Anouk. What is your advice that you would like to give future
Yeah,
girls?
well, I definitely have to agree with the other girls. Take that leap of faith. As I mentioned before, I think life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I mean, you definitely have to go out of that comfort zone if you want to become an au pair. It's such an amazing chance to go abroad, learn so much about yourself, about the world, living with a different family. I mean, it's just amazing to have like a home away from home somewhere else in the world, with a family that I can.
Au pair friends and like hanging out with them is relating to, oh, my child did this week, and like that frustrated me. It's like,
I
yeah,
know.
but my child did this, so this is a little bit worse. And you can just tell them everything, and there's a support system, and they can relate to you. So that's the fun thing for me about au pair friends. And then American friends, I would say
Sorry,
they can teach you
ladies.
more about
We're
the
not sure
American
what is going
lifestyle, the
on there.
American
It
culture.
seems like
You
the
improve your
recording is
English so
playing in the
much with
background as
hanging out with
well.
them, because you need to speak English. You can't speak any other language. And just they can show you around. Like I said, they know all the local.
Okay.
No idea what happened there.
Sorry about that. So
Sorry.
Anouk, sorry about cutting you off there. If you want to
Don't worry.
continue with where you were.
Oh yeah, well, I was in the middle of like a big motivational support thing. But I
I
would just
love it.
really want
Just
to
keep
end with
going.
just go. And I think culture care is such an amazing, um, like, I don't know, I'm just so happy with the chance they gave me of going abroad and seeing the world through their program as an au pair. And I think have lifelong memories and benefits of that. I already have that in my life right now, only after having been back for like 2 months, 3 months now. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you clearly enjoyed your experience since you're like already back in your home country, and you're still continuing, with cultural care, as one of our staff members as well. What is
Yeah.
your advice on for those girls who are soon to return and don't want to be done with their experience quite yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was there just a few months ago and I was terrified to go back. It's like, I don't want to leave this behind. I don't want this adventure, this story to end. And I'm super happy to I became a meeting leader with Culture Care, so I'm like super excited to like inform, support, motivate future au pairs, help them with telling about my experience, and support them as a body, as an active ambassador. I think there's so many opportunities that Culture Care has to like be active whenever you're in the country and stay active whenever you're back. And yeah, I like talked about Culture Care on like a big event in the Netherlands a few weeks ago, and it just gives me so much energy to like share, just like today, like share my story, and hopefully, I mean, yeah, motivate and inspire other people to go abroad and become an au pair.
Yeah, definitely. Leah, I have one more question. With regards to being an ambassador, that's how you ended up on the call today. Do you have advice for any potential au pairs, going into their new journey, or just becoming an ambassador, or anything with regards to that?
Yeah, it's just an amazing opportunity to be an ambassador, because you can really participate in the whole program, not just be an au pair, but also try to help others with their experience. For example, the buddy program we have, where you can help au pairs who are in their home country still, and you can just help them to have a great start here and make it a bit easier. And yeah, it's just an amazing way to be part of the whole program and not just work as au pair. So yeah, just help others while you're here.
Okay. And then Louise, how has being an ambassador helped you during this entire process?
An ambassador definitely helped me being more open to people and meeting new people, and also participating in more things. I feel like if I wasn't an ambassador, I wouldn't have met all the people I have. And like you said, with the au pair buddy that we have, I've met so many people. And I had one buddy that came to a state just after I arrived, and I went and visited her the other day. So it's so much fun, and you meet so much people. And yeah.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And yeah, we are having some technical difficulties at the moment. We wanted to give you a little bit of a slideshow, or not a slideshow, just like a QR code to sign up. But I guess the best way right now with these technical difficulties is just to go onto either our broad Instagram account, which is Cultural Care, but also look at your country's cultural care accounts for us on Instagram. You will also find like some quiz there. But yeah, for now, we're just going to wrap things up. We wanted to thank our three ambassadors, Leah, Louise, and Anouk, for taking the time out of their days to give us some answers on the experience. We wanted to thank Rebecca and Jasmine for being there. Jasmine on the backside for our sound and everything, and Rebecca for being my co-host. If you guys have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on our Instagram accounts, or any on our website as well. Well, there we go. We do have the code now. So if you guys want to maybe take out your phones and scan it, this is just a little bit of a quiz to find out what your dream American travel destination is. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with that. And for those who might want to share this with someone who might not have been able to join, we will be saving it on our YouTube, Cultural Care Au Pair, and you are more than welcome to share this with anyone of your friends, family who might want to share it to. And yeah, definitely go check it out. And yeah, that was it for us from tonight. If you guys have any questions, as I mentioned, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We hope you have an absolutely wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. And we hope to hear from you guys soon. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.